Good evening, and welcome to the 2021 Delaware Valley Student Athlete Recognition Banquet. March 13, 2020. That's the day schools across Pennsylvania closed, and we sent our students home to learn remotely for 2 weeks. That 2 weeks turned into the rest of the school year as our 2020 spring sports athletes had their season taken away by COVID-19. When June came around, our athletes could have let COVID affect their focus or effort on the fields. We did not. Through the hard work of the student athletes and coaches and other support systems, the results from 2020-2021 athletic year were, in the fall, league championships in girls soccer, boys soccer, and football. District championships in girls soccer, boys soccer, football, and girls volleyball. In the winter, league championships in wrestling and boys swimming. District championships in wrestling, girls swimming, and competitive cheerleading. And in spring 2021, we won district championships in girls lacrosse, and boys volleyball. This year did not come without individual quarantines. We all know that. And program pauses. Yet through the perseverance of the coaches and student athletes, every program in the school was able to finish their season where it was intended to be finished, on the field, on the court, or on the mat competition. Each coach that is presenting tonight, along with their extended coaching staff, they deserve a debt of gratitude for the sacrifices and long hours of preparation to keep our student athletes safe. Not to mention the daily stress that your coaches and yourselves endured over whether you would be able to compete on the field or court or mat the very next day. The coaches presenting tonight will be highlighting the team and individual accolades driven by the award winners you'll get a chance to meet. I love winning, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But what I'm most proud of tonight is the fact that our athletic program came together and provided our student athletes with the opportunity to participate in the sports that they love. All of you sitting here tonight, and those watching at home, when you remember this year, of course, we'll remember the championships, our outstanding individual accomplishments of the athletic program. But as you do that, I ask one thing. I ask you to reflect on the sacrifices of all involved, parents, coaches, student athletes, officials, that made it possible for us to be here tonight, celebrating a full year of Warrior Athletics. Before I introduce the first presenter, there were a couple awards given prior to this award ceremony, and I just ask those, when I call your name, if you just stand and be recognized at your seat. First, our Black Lawn League Scholar Athletes. Our male Scholar Athlete was Michael Gessick, and our female Scholar Athlete was Sierra Gillen. And on scholarship night last Wednesday, Dvsd Foundation awarded 2 scholarships. The male athlete was Preston Machado, and our female athlete was Haley Jordan. Okay, we're going to start with boys basketball. Coach Chris Holzer.
Can Jack Fielder, Noah Newton, and Mike Leonardo come up with? Sorry about my voice, I'm not nervous. I had a basketball team over my voice is just I'll start with Jack since he's up there first. Jack is our Warrior Award winner. We have a lot of really good kids on the team. Guys like Aiden Oliver was here, Mark Cavallero was here, guys like Lucas Schultz. And then it was a really difficult decision. Normally it's pretty clear cut a lot of the times. It was difficult because we have really good kids like those guys. And you all know that Matt Staley is sitting over there. So it was a tough decision, but Jack showed up every day in the summer. And Coach mentioned, or Mr. Ross mentioned about dealing with the mask, dealing with the COVID stuff. We wore masks in our freshman gym when it's 95 degrees in July. He showed up every day, didn't complain once. Some games he started because we were missing guys, some games he came off the bench, some games he didn't play as many minutes, some games he played more. But he never complained. He showed up every day and he worked his tail off every single day and just asked whatever you do. And it wasn't asking, what can I do to play? It was asking, what can I do to help the team win? And all these coaches will appreciate that. Sometimes it's the way you say things, the way you word things. He was all about winning and all about the team. And that's why he is our warrior. Our defensive MVP is Noah Newton. I was just at a basketball camp, I said, and the director of USA Basketball was there, and we talked a lot about versatility. When they're looking at players, they're looking at versatility. If a guy comes in and says he wants to be a point guard only, they already crossed the thing off the list. Because they got 1,000 guys that want that spot. They want guys that are versatile. And one thing that made my job easy as a coach, whoever the best player was, I pretty much just played ball, and then we figured out the other guys. He just locked things up. And he stopped the other team's leading score the majority of the time. It didn't matter how tall he was, how big he was, and I think he really enjoyed that challenge. We're going to do it again next year, along with a lot more scoring. But he's a phenomenal competitor. There's a game against Scranton Prep where we were really close and we were down like 2 or 3, but even going into the last minute. And we had another guy, and I said to my coach Nelson, I said, dude, I got to get this guy off, and we got to switch, put him on. Well, I turned around and talking to Nielsen, and no, I already kicked that dude off. He goes, I'm gonna guard for the rest of the game. And he did a fantastic job. He is our defensive MVP, no one ever. Mike Leonardo is our MVP. If you ask Mr. Ross, the whole quarantine, all he heard was the basketball bouncing across the neighborhood. Mike's improved probably more than any kid we've ever had. I've been 15 years. I grew up here. I've lived here pretty much my whole life, except for 8 years, so 32 years I've been here. There's never been a kid who comes through the door without basketball that's improved more than this kid. Jumped from his junior year to his senior year. And it's because he put the time in. He put the work in, he put the time in, and he made himself into a really good player. It helps that he's 6'6", but size doesn't mean everything. I mean, he really worked, he's improved his handle, his shot has improved tremendously. He's going to Moravian to play college basketball next year. Super proud of him. We talk about having guys that can possible, the guys that have your back. Mike's the guy that want to have your back. If you know him, he's very passionate. He might get you blown up sometimes because he's so passionate and so excitable. But he is just a phenomenal kid. We went 7-1 in our league. We wound up finishing second in North Polk. We had the same record as them, but our crossover game, they beat Scranton, we lost. And unfortunately, he did not win the MVP of the league, but he's the best player in the league by far. He's going to have the best college career by far at anybody in Division II. So I'm really proud of Mike Leonardo, our team. Next up, girls basketball, Lindsay Baker.
Girls basketball would like to recognize Brooke Acavino, Erin Hardy, and Kenzie Olson. Please come down. On behalf of the girls basketball program, we would like to extend our thanks and gratitude to Dr. Bell, Dr. Blom, Dr. Costantino, and the high school administrative team for their support as we navigated this uncharted territory during our COVID-19 season. We would especially like to thank those individuals working tirelessly behind the scenes, helping to ensure that the health and safety of our student athletes is a top priority. A big thanks goes out to our athletic director, Mr. Chris Ross, assisted by Ms. Susie Briscoe and Mr. Chris Gordy, who worked in conjunction with our athletic trainers to ensure that our district-wide health and safety policies created a safe environment for our students, staff, and athletes, making sure that we were ready for competition. Patience, dedication, and resilience. These are the words that come to mind when describing not only our season, but our award recipients this season. Mackenzie Bolsoner, Erin Hardy, and Brooke Acavino. Both Aaron and Brooke, in addition to our 4 other graduating seniors, have been at the forefront the past 4 years, working to ensure that our program's core values continue to grow and are displayed through their selfless acts as leaders and their tireless work ethic. Also joining our core of seniors this year was Mackenzie Olsemer, who brought in additional leadership quality and unparalleled passion for competition. As a result of their steadfast leadership, our underclassmen have flourished as players and have matured into future leaders and are looking to advance our program to new levels. Anyone that knows Mackenzie Olsemer knows that she's a fierce and fiery competitor. She's an undeniable force to be reckoned with. With her cool and calm demeanor, she helped guide our younger players, and at times she might not be the vocal leader of the team. However, her passion for the game and explosive work ethic spoke volumes to her teammates. She stepped up this season, stepping into our point guard position, and had the tough task of defending the opposing team's top guards. For her efforts, Mackenzie was recognized for the 2nd year in a row as a Division II All-Star, as well as an NEPA basketball All-League selection. The standard of excellence, tireless work ethic, and the team-first mentality of this group was undoubtedly seated in our ultimate warrior, Mackenzie Olsemer. It is my honor to award Mackenzie Olsemer with this year's Warrior. Complementing Mackenzie's and Brooke's strong leadership was the passion of play and competitive demeanor of senior guard Aaron Hardy. In a season like no other, Aaron stepped up, taking on a variety of different responsibilities and showed passionate and gritty play at the shooting guard position. If there was a big shot that we needed, Aaron knocked it down. If we needed the ball to be handled, she organized our offense. If a teammate needed a vote of confidence, Aaron was there with a quick joke and a smile. She was our unsung hero this season. She's our unselfish leader, and it has been my absolute pleasure to see her grow into this mature young woman and basketball player. It's my honor to award Aaron Hardy our 6th Man Award for her selfless play and dedication to our team. Our final award recipient is no stranger to hard work and determination. Brooke Acavino's development as a basketball player is a testament to the time she spent working on her game. Over the past 4 years, she's developed into a dynamic player, and for her hard work that she's put into the offseason, she's led us in all offensive statistical categories the past 2 seasons. Brooke has become a well-rounded player and has taken pride in establishing herself as a tough defensive player, and as a result of her balanced play this season, she was named an All-League first-team selection for the 2nd year in a row, and was also named to the NAPA Basketball's Division II All-Star team as a first-team selection. For her career, she's averaged double-digit scoring, along with averaging 8 rebounds per game. But most importantly was her development as a mature leader. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for her at Lehigh. I know she's got that burning desire for competition. Our MVP, Brooke Acavino. Next up will be Jen Marchetti with cheerleading.
Can I call down Jessica Zay and Olivia Doctor, please? This has been a year like no other. From football games without fans to virtual cheerleading competitions, it has been challenging in many ways. However, I was blessed to have athletes like these 2 young ladies that were able to roll with the changes and lead our team to a successful season. This year, our team was able to qualify virtually for both the PIAA state championship by placing first at our district competition, and to qualify for the UCA National High School Cheerleading Championship by placing 2nd at the Pocono Virtual Regional. Although we were not able to attend these events, we did have a program first, scoring 0 deductions at the Pocono Regional Championship. Without the positive energy of these 2 young ladies, our season would have looked much different. Jessica Zay is a 4-year varsity letter winner and is being awarded the Coaches Award this season. Jess is a true daredevil. She's an amazing top girl who flips, twists, spins, and stick stunts with a flair that excites the crowd. She's just awesome to watch. Her positive attitude and smile will be truly missed next year as she attends Queen's University of Charlotte to major in teaching. Olivia Dodsworth is on the other side of our pyramid. She's the strength that makes it all happen. Her determination and dedication to improving our team and herself is unmatched. Olivia is the first one to volunteer in trying to stunt, complete a community service project, or to help our member athletes. Even with the season complete, she was still in the gym trying to improve herself. For this reason, she is being awarded the 2021 Warrior Award. Her passion will be missed next year as she attends Fisher College in Boston to major in merchandising. Next up, I'd like to introduce Coach Shat for swimming.
Hello, I'd like to call down Sierra Gillen, Lucas Santiago, Jake Wenzel, Evan Dom, Samantha Hurley, and Julia Weinberg. As I'm sure you've already heard and will continue to this evening, this was a year like no other. These 6 senior captains that I'm about to honor were primary reasons why the swim team made it through the season and came out as league champions on the boys' side and district champions on the girls' side. My female MVP is Sierra Gillen. This year, Sierra scored a total of 138 league points and 707 power points, making her our most valuable female swimmer. Sierra won district gold in the 100 butterfly, 100 backstroke, 200 medley relay, and 200 freestyle relay. Those of you who were here 2 years ago may remember that I said she had held all but one individual team record. Well, this year she tied the team record in the 50 freestyle and now has her name next to every single individual team record for the team. She also broke our pool records in the 100 butterfly and 100 backstroke this year. To say that she was a District 2 powerhouse would be an extreme understatement. She made the Times All-Region Swim Team each of her 4 years and was named Swimmer of the Year last year. She has truly made her mark at Delaware Valley High School, and she's not done yet. Sierra will be swimming at the University of Tampa and going into the pre-med field. Good luck, Sierra. My male MVP is Lucas Santiago. Lucas had it tough because there were swimmers in the grades before him that were really good. But that isn't to say that Lucas was not tremendously talented the entire 4 years of his high school. Lucas quietly made his mark in the 200 individual medley and 100 breaststroke at DV. One of my favorite memories of Lucas was when he went under a minute in 100 breaststroke for the first time in the varsity meet, and the atmosphere was electric in the pool area. Lucas has been an exciting swimmer to watch these last 4 years. Lucas was also the definition of a team player. I know there were times when he wanted to swim other events, but would do what he was asked to for the good of the team. I hope he knows that I truly appreciate the sacrifices he made for the team. This year, Lucas scored 201 league points and 556 power points. He was also named to the Times All-Region Swim Team for the second time. Lucas will be continuing his swimming career at Clarion University studying political science. Good luck, Lucas. The most outstanding diver award goes to Jake Wenzel. When Jake started on the team as a freshman, he was the definition of young and hungry. His work ethic was incredible, and it led him to where he is today. He attended multiple diving camps and clinics, worked out like crazy during the off-season, and watched as much film as he could. This led him to being the top seed for districts this year. An unfortunate injury made him withdraw from districts, but this is where he showed his captain-like traits and went to cheer on his teammates with vigor. Jake was the epitome of a diving captain. He led the underclassmen in workouts and stretches, and he gave advice about dives when needed. I don't think he realizes it, but he helped mold one of the best diving teams that DV has ever produced. I'm proud of the long way Jake has come, and I wish him luck as he enlists in the Olympics. My first Warrior Award goes to Evan Dom. Evan has been one of our sprint sprinters for the past 4 years and has always done exceptionally well in districts. Unfortunately, due to a poorly timed quarantine, Evan was not able to compete in districts this year, and the way he handled the bad news was reason enough to give him a Warrior Award. He was upset, but he thanked me for a good 4 years and told me how much fun he had. Besides the way he reacted to that, he always has been a motivator and a swimmer that would lead by example. Evan is easy to talk to, and because of that, the underclassmen looked up to him and followed his lead. Watching Evan mature into a leader these past few years has been wonderful. Thank you for the laughs and the conversations, Evan. I wish you luck as you continue your academic career at Penn State University studying computer science. My next Warrior Award goes to Samantha Hurley. Even as a freshman, I could tell that Sam was going to be one of the most mature and thoughtful athletes I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. She continued to work hard and excel during her sophomore and junior years. Sam stepped up last year and was a leader when it was needed and helped guide the team in the right direction. Unfortunately, Sam had a season-ending injury this year, but that did not stop her from attending every practice and meet that she was allowed to be at and cheering her heart out. I don't think there is anyone that would argue that Sam has been our loudest cheerleader these past 4 years, and I appreciate the way she was able to pump up her teammates. There will be an empty spot at the end of the pool next year where she always stood. Sam will be attending the University of Albany Honors College and majoring in psychology and neuroscience. Good luck, Sam. My last Warrior Award goes to Julia Weinrich. Julia is a competitor. There's no other way to phrase it. When she puts her mind to something, she will work her hardest until it is achieved. When Julia realized that she wanted to focus on swimming, there was no stopping her at practice or meets. Julia has been an important member of our relays, swimming freestyle and achieving marks like 25 seconds in the 50 freestyle. Watching Julia achieve her goal of making it to states this year and seeing the elation on her face was a memory I will have for a long time. Besides her accomplishments in the pool, Julia also stepped up last year and became a leader when it was needed. Her presence in the pool every day helped the underclassmen understand what was needed to be successful. This year was no different, and a lot of the time she was the only girl captain in her group. She managed to lead her team through dry land and pool workouts flawlessly. I'm truly going to miss her positive personality at the pool. Julia will be swimming at Montclair State University and majoring in education. Good luck, Julia. Our next presenter is
Can Jack Russo and Jason Henderson come down? The Warrior Wrestling team is going to recognize 3 student athletes tonight. Unfortunately, one of them was unable to attend. The first 2 I'm going to recognize, Jason and Preston Machado, are 2 seniors that have been with this program for the past 4 years, both 4-year varsity stars. During their time here, they've had a tremendous amount for the program. Athletically, they have led our team to an overall 58-15 record in the past 4 years, a 35-2 record in District 2, 4 Lacrosse League titles, 6 district titles, whether it be duals or individual tournament, and 3 top 12 finishes in the state, including this year state quarterfinals and an 8th place finish. The first award, our Warrior Award, will be going to Preston Machado, who will be going to Preston for his grit and determination of helping the team out and always putting the team ahead of himself. The second award, our Superman Award. This is an award named after one of our former coaches, Mark Turner, who lost a battle to cancer around 10 years ago. Just like Coach Turner, Jason Henderson has that fighting ability and that attitude to get through anything. Jason is earning this award for, I believe, the 2nd or even 3rd year in a row, just because every year he has to overcome a lot. Injuries, surgeries, whatever he has to do to get back on the mat, he has done. During his time in the program, individually, Jason has finished his career with 107 wins, 30 losses. He is a 4-time district medalist, a 2-time district champ, a 3-time regional place finisher, a 3-time state qualifier. He is the first ever DP 2-time regional champion. He is also a 2-time state medalist with a 5th place finish last year and a 7th place finish this year, which probably would have been a better finish if injury didn't occur at the state tournament. More importantly than his accolades on the mat, Jason has grown as a man. When Jason came as a freshman sophomore, he had tremendous athletic ability. Probably one of the most explosive athletes I've ever seen. However, there was times that explosion was used negatively. Since that time, he has learned how to use it, both on the football field and the wrestling mat, and has learned what work ethic is all about. Coming in this year on the wrestling team, he no doubt was the hardest worker that was in the room. Leading by example, helping our younger kids, have success and showing them what work ethic is all about. I look forward next year, Jason will be continuing his academic and athletic career at Old Dominion playing football. Jason Henderson is our Superman. Our next award is going to Zach Jackaruso. Zach Jackaruso is our season's MVP, and it was well deserved. Zach, as a sophomore, is starting to turn the page of being the face of the Delaware Valley wrestling program as well as District 2 wrestling. Being a young wrestler, Zach took on a lot of ownership this year of helping some other young wrestlers follow his example and doing what needs to be done on the mat. From an accolade standpoint, Zach this season finished 20-1. He was a district champion for the 2nd year in a row. He was a regional champion, the first Delaware Valley regional champion, and also the first District 2 regional champion. He was also a super regional champion and finished 2nd in the state tournament. During the state tournament, Zach beat the 7th ranked kid in the country 3-2. Following that match, in the state finals, Zach was about half a second from winning the state title. There was a controversial call that cost him, a state title at the end of that match. Coming off that match, Zach showed his maturity. Instead of, complaining about a iffy call, Zach's first words to me were, "Coach, what do I need to do to not have that happen next year? What do I need to do to be a state champion?" It's that type of mentality and that type of work ethic and that type of grit and perseverance that we want on our team, and that is something that we continue to have. Look forward to having Zach teach our younger wrestlers for the next 2 years. And fortunate for us, Zach will be wrestling for Delaware Valley the next 2 years. Delaware Valley's wrestling MVP, Zach Jackaruso. Our next speaker is Audrey Dennis for cross country.
Good evening. Can I have Janice Healy, Sophia Tallman, Maggie Holdren, Adam Canterman, Nixon Kameen, and John Russo. Tonight, we acknowledge those who conquered an unforeseen trial or completed more than the last needed mile. For some, tonight is the last time you'll hear a speech from your coach or sit and joke and hear things from your teammates. For others, tonight is an awe-inspiring beginning to learn about what you may want to accomplish in your TV years. In cross country, we face trials and miles of trials each season. But this year was unlike any other. We adapted to dual meets, face masks, virtual workouts, and 6-foot hugs. To us, the words trials and miles of trials have a special meaning. Each practice to hone skills, nail-biting wins, emotional losses, countless personal trials, and of course, miles. Training is hard, but with it comes speed, strength, and endurance. Runners learn to become stingy and use their energy carefully and tactfully throughout their 3.1-mile race. They spend a certain amount of time on the red line, an excruciating, painful place where you mentally and physically challenge yourself and opponents with each running breath. You pray that you cross the finish line, that you see a new record, instead of tasting disappointment. Each runner here tonight has great achievements. It also experienced disappointment in their career. But each one of them came back day after day to prove themselves to themselves and to their teammates that goals are achievable with hard work. They ran when they did not feel like it, when it was raining and snowing, when it was wicked hot, and even when we weren't sure about school. This year, we had a few successful newcomers join the team. Sophia Tallman unlocked her running talent over weeks by transitioning from a non-sport to a district meet sport. She dropped over 40 seconds from her time at the beginning of the season. Dixon Kameen displayed potential each week as he dropped 30 seconds from his time. And he consistently held the 6th place position on the team, which broke league ties. Congratulations to those upcoming runners, Sophia and Dixon. We look forward to watching you over the next 3 years. A warrior in cross country is someone who has demonstrated outstanding leadership, dedication to the team, and tremendous effort. Janice Seeley has the innate ability to lead with courageous smiles and welcoming demeanors. When her teammates had a tough race, Janice was always there to lean on. At meet, she was a captain who reminded teammates of race tactics and yet how to still have fun. During the school day, Janice checked on teammates and stopped in my classroom often to ask me a new team question. She will do this next year, but with that, we wish her the best of luck at the University of Scranton. John Russo was not only a captain, but a top runner on the team due to his dedication and consistent mileage. He quickly became a role model to others with his sense of humor and friendly personality. When doubt entered the teammate's mind, John was there to counter it. Just one more rep, or we can do this. He cheered on teammates as they crossed the finish line and then took them out for their cool-down runs. We'll miss him next year, but wish him the best of luck as he races at Maryland University. The most valuable runner award is given to individuals who have endured a steady yearly training program in order to achieve greatness. Each runner has a plan of attack for each meet with an offensive and defensive tactic in mind. Both runners were our top male or female runner this season by placing first for TV consecutively. She is a determined individual who chased down last year's district medalist each meet. As a sophomore, she led the team and holds a personal record of 20 minutes and 52 seconds. She was a district medalist and raced at the state championship meet in Percy, and she will undoubtedly be back next year to challenge that course record. Congratulations to Maddie Holder. It was a humbling experience to watch this runner develop throughout the years. In fact, it is hard to believe that in 7th grade, he thought it was better to sprint than walk, then sprint again, then walk, and of course, sprint again to the finish line. But with some time, guidance, and dedication to the sport, he developed into one of the elite runners in District 2. In fact, he broke his own school record twice this year, with a final cross-country school time of 16 minutes and 44 seconds. As a captain, first-team All-Star, district medalist, and state championship meet racer, he has set the tone for DV cross-country for years to come. We will miss his conviction, determination, and vibrant personality next year. But we wish him the best of luck as he races cross-country track at Latham University in South Carolina. Congratulations to Adam Fishman. This is the beginning of endings. The clock is slowly ticking down for your time here. I ask all of you in this room to take a moment and recall your favorite sporting memories. Acknowledge the blood, sweat, laughs, and tears for something that is so much bigger than yourself. You all worked for a team in a school that you will never forget, and may you always look back with DV pride on your own personal trials and miles of trials. Next up is Coach Marielle Caballero of Field.
Hi everyone,
Can I have Mackenzie, Emma, and Kristen come down, please? All right, first up, our MVP for this year is Mackenzie Olsmer. Kenz is by far the most gifted athlete on our team. She has incredible endurance, speed, and skill. But what makes her the best player is her knowledge of the game and her ability to think one play ahead of what's happening. Kenz played center back and center mid for us this year, the two most important positions on the field. From those places, she commanded the entire rest of the team. Kenz was a part of almost every single play on offense and on defense. She was a key player in both offensive and defensive corners. In many games this season, we were outmatched, but Kenz did her absolute best every single game to compensate for that. She would be all over the field, seemingly playing multiple positions like Bugs Bunny. She has the hardest hit on the team, the best reverse chip, the only consistent aerial, and of course, the greatest fitness level. Mackenzie's greatest attribute, though, is her competitiveness. She just can't deal with being beat. So even when she's physically and mentally exhausted, she's able to get herself through and do whatever it takes to be better than anyone else. We are incredibly lucky to have Mackenzie returning to play her senior year with us this upcoming season. We look forward to all that she will accomplish in the future, both on our team and in her hopeful collegiate career. Our MVP, Mackenzie Olsen. Next up, one of our Warrior Awards this year will go to Senior Captain Emma Schach. To me, the Warrior Award goes to someone who is indispensable. Emma's attitude, leadership, and work ethic created a new culture for our program. I want to share two quick stories about Emma that to me epitomize her character. When we were handing out uniforms this season, of course, we allowed seniors, then juniors, then sophomores, and then finally the freshmen to choose their numbers and sizes. Emma, being about 100 pounds, of course, took a small. However, by the time we made it to the freshmen, it was obvious there were not enough smalls for some of the girls who really needed them. As we decided that a medium would just have to work for another small girl on the team, we suddenly discovered that she did not need it, because quietly, out of the view of everyone else, Emma had slipped the small under her hands and taken the medium for herself. We talk a lot about character being what you do when no one else is watching. And leadership is what you do to help others, even when it won't necessarily benefit you. She received no big thank you, no recognition, no fireworks for that simple act. But that is Emma. She smiles and does her best to help everyone else. My next story is brief. It's about her incredible work ethic. We run a lot in field hockey, and fitness is a necessary part of the game. But normally athletes peak in their fitness, their time, their distances, somewhere around a third into the season. They hit a time and they don't get much better than that. By the last week of the season, especially if there's no shot at moving on to another round, times even get worse. But Emma PR'd in a mile time the last week of the season. She never once gave up on herself or her team the entire season, and she never once saw a reason to not get better. Because of all this and more, one of our Warrior Awards will go to Emma. Our last award is another Warrior Award that will go to Kristen Henry, another senior captain. Kristen embodies the idea of the Warrior Award. She worked hard all off-season. During the quarantine, I would see her at the field working out with friends, often Emma. She showed up to winter workouts and summer workouts, and her skill improved immensely from the previous season. On the first day of preseason, it was obvious that she was the dominant leader on the team. Everyone looked to Kristen for everything. In our minds as coaches, she was the leader as well, but you can never be sure until a team votes for captains. This season, to avoid anyone discussing the captain situation and it becoming a popularity contest, we went around to each player individually as they were passing and asked for their two choices for captain. Of course, Kristen was one of the winners. But what was most striking was that Kristen received a vote from every single girl on the team but one. She was the only one who did not vote for herself. Kristen lived up to that leadership role. The word captain comes from the Latin word caput, meaning head. She was the head and the heart of this team. While Emma was PRing in the last week,
Kristen was in a film session the day before our last game, questioning everything, drawing on the board, and game planning. She was encouraging everyone, yet trying to hold them accountable. In a season lacking wins, she came each and every day ready to work, ready to get better, and ready to lead. She was the emotional guide for the team, and she helped create a culture that any coach would dream of. Losing Kristen will be a huge loss for our team, of course because of her physical talent, but also because she led the team every single day in far more than just the stretches at the beginning of practice. For all these reasons and more, Kristen will receive our Warrior Award this season. Up next is Coach Keith Olsemer to present football awards.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to congratulate everyone here on a successful season, albeit it was very different than what we are accustomed to. At least it was a season. For this evening, I'd like Mark Callahan, Jason Henderson, Aiden Oliver, and Mike Gasser. You guys come down. As I was sitting back and thinking about the season, my mind actually went pretty rapidly to about a year ago. What, or when Mr. Ross reached out and said we could start to work out again, and what that looked like for us, and how we had to have groups of 10, no more than groups of 10, and working out together and trying to make things work. And it wasn't just us, it was all of you that went through that. And then the uncertainty of, are we going to be back in school? Are we not going to be back in school? Are we going to Zoom again? I remember the excitement that these guys had, as many of you did when we first started working out. And it was like, hey, this thing's starting to come to an end, and we're going to have our season, and everything's going to kind of go back to normal. And then we hit the bottom of all the local colleges and colleges across the country, for that matter, and the conferences canceling their seasons, and the uncertainty that hung over everybody's head. And I remember you could see it in their eyes, and nobody really said it, but there was a lot of concern and a lot of question of whether we were ever going to have a season. But one thing these guys did for us, and I know a lot of you did for your teams, was remain as positive as you could possibly be, unknowing what was going to take place with the upcoming season. As things, moved on with some, it looked really good this week, and then it looked really bad, and then it looked really good. Finally, sports got started. We were delayed a little bit, but eventually we did get started, and one of the reasons that we were as successful as we were this year as a team is because of the guys that are up here tonight. For the 5 award winners that I have are with us tonight. Preston is not here. Our Warrior Award winner was Preston Machado this season. Preston was with us healthy for about 15 plays before he had an AC sprain to his right shoulder. If you've never had an AC sprain, it's a very difficult injury to deal with. You get clear, you can go and play. The doctor will always say, depending on your tolerance of pain, you can play. It is an unbelievably painful injury. Preston missed the next 3 quarters of that game, but did not miss another game the rest of the season. Preston became the guy in the backfield that we knew he was coming into the season by week 5 for us. Had a tremendous playoff push, helped us put away our first state playoff win ever against Altoona. His desire to play, his heart, his commitment to his team and to his teammates is why Preston Machado was our Warrior Award winner this season. This year we had co-MVPs offensively. You couldn't have one without the other. These two kind of coincided in one of the best connections that we've ever been able to coach at Delaware Valley, and that is Aiden Oliver and Mark Callahan. Aiden had as strong as an arm as any kid that has ever played at Delaware Valley. He grew into being a very calm leader in the huddle during the game. When he was a little younger, he wasn't always so calm, but he grew into being a very calm leader. He was a playmaker for us, not necessarily that Aiden ran around a lot, because if you know Aiden, he's not real fast, so he wasn't running anywhere. But his arm was tremendous, and he could make throws all over the field, which made him a serious threat at any time. Aiden has a very bright future, and he'll be attending and continuing his career at Lycoming College. Mark Callahan is one of the most explosive wide receivers that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. Maybe the best when you put everything together that it takes to be a great wideout. Everybody thinks, well, you either run fast and you catch. They're good components of being able to run precise routes where a guy like Aiden knows where you're going to be every single second is maybe the best thing that Mark did. Mark ran great routes, caught everything that was thrown at him, and then he had the ability to break the play once he had the ball in his hands. So our two co-offensive MVPs, Aiden Oliver and Mark Callahan. Our defensive player of the year is Mike Jessup. I don't know if we've had a player who has come through our program who has ever defined himself and made himself into what he has become more than Mike Jessup. Mike was always a pretty big guy, and not quite as large as he is today. When he came into our program, he was 6'3" sophomore, really quiet, didn't say a whole lot, maybe about 245 pounds, started right away for us and was a heck of a football player. Mike left in COVID weighing about like 265. When he came back about a year ago for our first workout, he was about 285. And I was like, holy cow, what did you do? He built a gym in his house and he started to lift and lift and lift and lift, and that's what Mike became. That also transpired out to the football field. Mike was the most dominant lineman, offensively or defensively, in any game that we played this year, either for Delaware Valley or any team that we played against. Because of some of the things that Mike did and his work ethic, he was named All-State. He was selected to represent Pennsylvania in the Big 33 game, and he will be attending Albany to continue his football career. So our defensive MVP is Mike Jessup. Our MVP, like, if you can't watch us play, this is pretty easy. What is an MVP? And everybody, it can mean a million different things. For me, it is, and especially this year, MVP is the guy that can take over a game like that. From the first play of the game to the last play of the game, and own it on both sides of the ball. I have had the opportunity up until this year to coach somebody that had that ability. We've coached some pretty good guys here in the past, and this guy is by far the best. He is somebody who had the ability to take over entire games. When we were playing Altoona, Mr. Ross points out to me that on the video, you hear somebody saying, you got to stop number 6, or something along those lines. All right? He had 13 rushes for 225 yards, 3 catches for 75 yards, 4 touchdowns, but then had 22 tackles on defense. That's an MVP. That's what an MVP does. They dominate on both sides of the ball for us. All right, obviously different for other people. As Coach Deloro said, I think one of the greatest things that led to the success of Jason is as he aged in school, he matured. He became an exceptional leader for us this year. But one thing that a lot of people, and especially younger athletes, need to understand is we have two guys that are going to play at a pretty high level. They're two guys who work their butts off. When we started our workouts, there isn't a guy up here that missed a single day until our season ended. They didn't miss one day of running or lifting. They didn't miss a practice. They were at everything. And that obviously shows with the success we had as a team and these guys did as individuals. Jason is going to graduate as our school's all-time leading tackler. He's the only football player that we've had that's been first team all-state selection 2 years in a row. And Jason will be continuing his career at Old Dominion. Our most valuable player this year is Jason Henderson. Just, one last thing about the 5 of these guys. You guys all know Coach Q, and he and I spent a lot of time together, between track and football, and often we talk about guys and where they would fit in as far as through the years after being the head coach for 23 years. I have a lot of guys who had the opportunity to play for me, and these 5 guys are what I'm going to paraphrase here and steal from Coach Q. He calls them all-timers, and they're guys that are some of the best that ever play in their positions, but more than that, they have great character, great commitment to the team, and they're going to be extremely tough to replace, to say the least. Thank you very much. The next coach is Coach Dells, our golf coach.
The golf team would like to call Hannah Williams, Katie Bell, and Matthew Simmons. We usually, as coaches, have a chance to sit here and listen to all the speeches that everyone has, and we all sit in the back and try to prepare some speeches, and I always try to make it personal. I don't write stuff down, and many times I don't go with what's on me, what I'd like to say. But first award tonight is going out to Hannah Williams, and it is the coach award. To speak about Hannah came out as a sophomore. One of the hardest things to do as a coach is to look at players, students, kids, tell that person you didn't make the team. Hannah, as a sophomore, did not make the all team, but she was really determined to play. I know her father was pretty instrumental in her life, and as a junior, she came out. She improved her game somewhere about half her strokes. She came out, she shot about 100 for 9 holes the first year, and she got it down to about 50 or 60, which was an incredible jump. You guys ever play, you understand what that means. And again, as a junior, I can't speak enough about the time that she put in, not only with me, but with Coach Knight, practicing the game, just being a part of the team, really trying to craft the game. And then as a senior, she started every single match. So to give her a lot of credit, just to stick with the team, I can't speak enough about her. She has a lot of potential. As a matter of fact, she will be continuing her education at Lindbergh University. She will be majoring in engineering, and she will be playing golf at Lindbergh. The coach of the board is at Williams. The next award is the award award, and we all have different definitions of what the award is. And this award is one. Ken Bell's been part of the team for 4 years. He was a 2-year starter. And one of the most interesting matches that we had this year, again, I know a lot of coaches talk about COVID. I believe, Mr. Ross, we don't have first event as a golf team possibly, because we have our first match before school starts. It's in the first week of tryouts. So golf is really a quick sport. It's a short season. But I wanted Katie to play the match. And all I knew Katie was that
a training that you have to go to, where you have to do, I don't know, how many push-ups, 200, 300, 400 push-ups, run miles, all different types of physical tests. And here he comes after a grueling day. Here he is showing up to play. You know, golf is not the most grueling sport. You walk and you carry the bag, and you know, I'm sure he was exhausted during that match. But went out, and as a warrior as he is, he went and played his place. And one thing I can say about Caden, he does not have a give up attitude. And you talk about a warrior, that's a warrior. They never did. And another thing, to his credit, he also respects his competition. So even if you do win or if you lose, Caden is always there, tipping his hat, shaking the hands for him, and going to do it and shake hands. But you know, air fist pump, whatever we're doing, that's who Caden is. And you know, again, to speak about him, you know, continuing his life. If you want to talk about a warrior, Caden has enlisted in the Marines, and he will continue as a warrior to his life. The warrior goes out to Caden. Again, I sit here and remember some little things there. This one's a tough one. This is a really tough one, I think, and I hope some of you have a chance to experience this in your life. But the next award that goes out is to my son, Matthew Sales. Sorry, work hard. He's getting the MVP award tonight. Most of you know me. I taught a lot of you. I've coached a lot of you, and you know, to speak a little bit about Matt. Golf-wise, he was a 4-year starter for me, and this year was just a great year for him. He was ninth at districts, which at first I think he was going in with the attitude like, hey, I'm going to try my best, I'm going to do my best. He did make it through 3 districts, and then at districts he improved so much from the same course that we played at. But when I wrote on the card here, I said ninth at individual districts, and then I just wrote coaching with him. Again, I would hope some of you, the opportunity in your life, if you ever continue in the idea of becoming a coach, becoming a teacher, whatever it may be, to have the opportunity to see Matt, you know, it was, I'm just here like this tall, coaching in youth soccer, coaching in baseball, you know, try to help him with golf his entire life. I knew that this speech was going to be a tough one for him, but it was also something that really is going to come from the heart. And I really don't have much else to say about his golf game because he is a pretty good golfer. However, again, just having this opportunity to coach is what we do it for. And this is why I teach. And this is why I made that decision a long time ago to become a teacher, because I wanted to coach. And it's just a unique opportunity when you get a chance to coach yourself. Where do you are? Or, again, many of the players that are out here right now, I've had you as a student, and I've coached you in various sports as well. That's what I have to say about Matt Muckman, and that is getting the MVP for this year. That is going to continue at Boston University, where he's majoring in mechanical engineering. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak about these qualities here. MVP. Our next presenter is Aaron Stark with Boys Soccer.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the administration for all your support, first of all, and allowing us to continue our fall, winter, and spring seasons. I'd also like to thank Mr. Ross. This year, very challenging for him as well. You know, as coaches, we walk into the athletic office and tell Mr. Ross having a good day when he's not having a good day. And I think this year we had more bad days than we had good, but he got through it, and we're very thankful for all of our work you do, Mr. Ross. Thank you very much. Delaware Valley Boys Soccer Program would like to recognize 3 of the student athletes tonight. Boys Soccer Program recognizes these athletes in 3 different categories: Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and the Warrior Award. We're going to start off with the Defensive Player of the Year. Goes out to a player who has a commanding presence on the field. Kept our defensive unit organized and efficient all season. He's respected by his teammates. He's calm under pressure and has a strong vision of the field. He has a high work rate and is a great communicator on and off the field. He has timely anticipation. He's even temperament. And he was also selected as a second-team All-League player this year. This year's Defensive Player of the Year goes out to Nick Gillon. Our next award is going to go out to our Offensive Player of the Year. This young gentleman had an outstanding year. This award goes to a player who plays for the win at all costs mentality. He's respected by his teammates as well as the other coaches in the conference. He gives his team the best opportunity to win games, scores goals, gives his team the best opportunity, scores goals and assists goals in our wins. His understanding of the game contributed greatly to our team's success this year. Played many different positions on the field. Sometimes we had to push him all over the place. He was a forward, a stopper. Sometimes we had to put him at center mid. But he was able to play all those positions very well. He was selected as a first-team All-League player. With that, he earned all-state honors and was named the Lacrosse League Division I Player of the Year, which is a huge, huge award. This year's Offensive Player of the Year goes to Hunter Six. Our last award is our Warrior Award. This goes out to a player who made sacrifices for the betterment of the team. He is a teammate he can believe in, and he believes in his teammates. He has mental toughness and perform under pressure when challenges arise. He's willing to play any position on the field, doesn't ask any questions, just gets the job done. He's respected by his teammates, coaching staff, other coaches in the league, other players in the league. He's dependable. He goes above and beyond the basic responsibilities of a student athlete and maintains a competitive attitude all the time. He achieves good academic and general school behavior and is committed to excellence. This year's Warrior Award was out to Kyle Tone. These three guys played a huge role in our success this year. We had a really good year. We didn't get to play some of the out-of-conference talent that we normally play against, the coaches, the forwards, and all those, but they stepped on the field and we had an outstanding year. We ended up going 11-3 overall. We were league champs again. We were District 2 champs again. We had 7 players named to the first and second team All-League. Hunter was named the Lackawanna League Player of the Year. 4 of our players were named to the All-Region team. Hunter was also selected as an All-State player, like I mentioned earlier. And the award that I'm most proud about with our team, and this has been pretty much across the board for years, academically sound. They've been very academically sound. We had 21 players that earned the Scholar Athlete Award this year. And, as a coach, I've been coaching for a while now, I'm so proud of them. I'm very proud that they're able to keep a 3.3 to 3.5 GPA while they're playing sports. And these guys don't, they're not all just one sport athletes. They're playing, big guys that play 2 or 3 sports a season or a year. And that's huge to be able to juggle that. And that's what's great about sports. It creates that environment for you that you are able to juggle so many different things and still be successful at it. And that's what's going to put you above. And I say that to all of you tonight, because you're here for a reason. outstanding. And that's so huge. And I hope you take that momentum and you bring it to, into college, and bring it into your professional career, into your professional life. Because you're going to be successful. I believe that. And you got to think. And I believe for these guys. There's success up there. And I'm very proud of these guys. They're going to be missed. We're going to be missing a lot of guys next year. We have guys that are just waiting to step up into that program. So, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you gave to this program, and I know you guys are going to be successful in everything you do. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up, with girls tennis, Dvsd.
Good evening and welcome. Very fortunate. Great season this year. Coach Kevin Quinn can't be with us tonight, but we both ended up co-teaching varsity boys tennis and girls tennis. Very good season. I'd like to ask Madison Strickler, Rose Lombardo, and Anna Beller to please come on. First, I'll start with Madison. Maddie is our breakthrough performer, and Maddie fought through a tough time with a ton of injuries in her sophomore and her junior year. At times it was difficult even to hold a racket. She fought very hard to get where she was this season and absolutely dominating at number 3 singles this year. She actually played much better number 3 singles, won a lot of her matches instead of like the previous year doing second singles. Maddie's positive attitude was always a shining light, and we will miss you next year. Maddie also brought home a bronze medal at doubles districts this year. We had a great season here. We had really fun practices, and the girls worked really, really hard. And then next is Rose Lombardo. She's our MVP. Rose brought her A game to every day to practice and matches. And she led the team in wins, brought home a district singles bronze medal, along with a bronze when partnered with Maddie at doubles districts. We will miss Rose and her dedication to the sport. What she brought to the table every day was hard fought. Great job, Rose. Rose even helps us out, like, comes with voice practice too. And that's like really good for practicing. It just makes her game even better. She's going to go on and play tennis in college. It's great. And then next up we have Anna Beller. Anna gets our Warrior Award. Anna is the player that every coach wants. She connects with the entire team. She was definitely the glue that held us all together this season. Not to mention her relentless attitude at every practice, wanting the grind and accepting the challenge each and every day. Anna was also a ferocious doubles player, ending points at the net like an absolute beast. We are going to miss you, Anna. Did a great job. Great, awesome doubles player. For girls, and all the best. They already got their. All right, next up, I'm going to be doing the boys tennis awards. Over our years of tennis, I started off doing junior varsity team. And that kind of dwindled, gosh, I guess like the past 3 years, we haven't had as many come out. So, just co-teaching, coaching with Larry Hudson and then contact Wayne. So, what I actually did, I went up to Match Point, it's a tennis place in Ocean, New York. And the coach up there informed me about Net Generation, which is a tennis program where you can get up to 30 rackets and tennis balls free for your school. You sign up and go to their partnerships. So I did that, and I was able to get, let's see, 7 duffel bags, 1 for each school. So that'll get our younger kids involved in tennis. Great school, gym programs. So I'm excited about that. Growing up in New Jersey, and we had like tennis clubs, country clubs that played tennis. We competed against different country clubs for the teams. We could swimming and tennis. So this would be great to have the kids learning in grade school. All right, next up is the boys, and Jack Monio and Maxwell Clark. Max can't be here tonight. All right, Jack is our MVP award, and Jack was at a different level this year. It was obvious to us that he would be our #1 singles player in first practice. Jack is at an excellent physical game, and this year he had a mental game to make him a formidable opponent to anyone in the league. Jack has fun-loving attitude, made practice a joy, and we're going to miss him. Jack also was named the Lacrosse League All-Star. Great job, Jack. Jack's going to continue. I got another student. Somebody else can come up there. We have a group bunch of guys. Because Jack and Max and Scott, they all started back in freshman year. Back when we had a JV team. And Scott did their own matches and very good. Next we have Maxwell Hawkins, who was great with Coach Roseback. If you know Max, then you know exactly why he's getting the Warrior Award. Max brought the intensity to every practice. He never backs down from a challenge. He is also willing to play
any role he needs to help the team win. Bouncing up and down the lineup all season, never complaining. That's what we missed. Congratulations to the Silver Camera. Next up is Jeff Lanier for the girls soccer.
Go ahead, Brianna Madison and Sally Denholzer and Jenna Wright come up. You're all here.
Jen's here, and social distance from all these people.
This is a unique year. It's been a unique year. Usually these girls already know what awards they're getting because we give them out in fall banquet. We didn't have banquet this year. This year we had an outstanding season despite a short season. We finished 9-2-2, which gave us our 5th straight district title, and even a tougher accomplishment, it was our first ever lacrosse league championship in school history. You can clap for it. Individually, some girls that aren't here, first team all league, Teresa Pickens, second team, Megan Burns, Sally Denholzer, Haley Jordan, Skylar Molnar, and Sage Henry. Just want to give them a shout out. Our first award is our Defensive Player of the Year award. If you know anything about our team, you can figure out that it's Brianna Madison, our goalie. She's a junior this year. She played 14 games and only gave up 9 goals, which makes it a very successful team. She was absolutely robbed at all league nominations and awards. She did not finish first or second, and she truly should have. And so, because of that and many other reasons, Bree is getting the Defensive Player of the Year award for the team. She didn't face many shots, which is the excuses that other people used for not giving her all league. But if you know anything about sports, especially as a goalkeeper, whatever sport, hockey, soccer, whatever, if you don't face a lot of action, it's really hard to keep mentally tough. And Bree was mentally tough. She made some huge saves for us this year. Although not seeing a volume of shots, she stopped all the quality ones. And that's one of the reasons that we finished as well we did. Brianna Madison, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Sally Denholzer, sophomore. In 14 games, she scored 8 goals and had 5 assists. She was dominant on the right side of her attack. Anybody that knows Sally knows that she has an incredible motor. She, in every regard, running, just energy, and when we needed a key goal, we needed some attack, just needed to mix things up. She led by example. She was very consistent, game in, game out. Sometimes even Coach Ross and I talked after the game one time. We couldn't even figure out how she got the ball to the goal, but she got it there. I think it was with the ball fall back, which makes it even more special. Anyway, because of her heart, her versatility, and her abilities, she is the Offensive Player of the Year for this year. And Jenna Wright wasn't able to be here. Jenna was our Warrior Award winner. Hard choice this year. Hard choice to give a Warrior Award to a bunch of girls, a lot of girls that deserved it. But this year it's Jenna Wright. Next up, girls volleyball, Carly May and Samantha Hudson.
Alrighty. Hi everybody, I'm Carly and this is Sam, and we are here on behalf of Bridget Crawford, retired varsity coach of the Lady Warrior volleyball program. This year, though, was racked with unforeseen challenges due to COVID-19, was another great one in our long history of successful seasons. Due to the hard work and dedication to the program, our girls rose to our 11th straight District 2 championship. We finished the season 16-3, facing some strong opponents. But we learned from these tough matches, which enabled us to take down our rival, Holy Redeemer, for the second time in our program's history. We are so proud of all the girls for pushing through all the obstacles that came with this crazy year. They never complained and faced every day with a positive attitude. The 3 girls we are honoring tonight are very special to the program. We're so proud of them and are excited to see all the great things they will accomplish going forward. So with that, Brooke, Michelle, and Kelly, come on.
The first award we are presenting tonight is the Defensive Player of the Year. Michelle Andia has been playing volleyball since she was in 7th grade alongside our 2 other recipients. She has been a varsity player for the past 2 years, and this year she was our starting libero. The libero is a specialized defensive position that allows your best passer to play in the back row of the court for nearly every point. Michelle earned this position through her tireless hard work and team-first attitude. In volleyball, defensive players are often overlooked for the flash and power of your front row attackers. This doesn't bother Michelle. When her teammates would score a point on one of her perfect passes, she was the first to congratulate them. When they would flip their attack out of bounds or into the net, she was the first person to say, "Don't worry about it, you'll get it next time." She also helped organize this year's senior night and the end of the year video at last year's banquet. She finished her career at Delaware Valley with 107 digs and 23 service points. Thank you, Michelle, for all the time and effort you put into our program. We look forward to seeing all of the amazing things we'll accomplish in years to come. Don't forget about us when you're famous. Acavano. It was always fun to hear how Brooke Acavino's last name would get pronounced for the starting lineup at various away venues. But here at Delaware Valley, everyone knows her name. A 4-year varsity player in volleyball, basketball, and track and field, Brooke has the kind of athleticism and drive a coach dreams of. Volleyball was never her true passion, but she still put her heart into every point. I couldn't tell you how many times I heard Coach Crawford say, "Give the ball to Brooke." Our opponents absolutely hated facing her. This year, she received first team honors in the Wyoming Valley Conference and was the Scranton Times-Tribune Regional Player of the Year. She finished her career at Delaware Valley with 306 kills and 200 serving points. While we will, of course, miss her firepower and tremendous vertical leap, it is her quiet purity and humor I will always remember. Brooke forgave herself for every mistake she made, but she never forgot and always looked to do better with her next opportunity. When tensions were high before a particularly important game, she would always come into the joke or a funny observation. Thank you, Brooke Acavino, for your time with DV Volleyball. I will never forget your name.
Our last award is the Warrior Award. This next award winner has a very special place in my heart. Over the past 6 years, I've gotten to work closely with all of our setters. This one in particular has always had something special. Kelly Blackwood is a quiet storm. She is a hard worker, kind, and intelligent on and off the court. She frustrates her opponents with a serve that is placed perfectly and with a force that you would not think could come out of her. She has built connections with all of her hitters, and they trust her to give them the best set for their success. She always gives her all. She is selfless, throwing herself around the court, sprinting balls that some of their setters would never dream of chasing, let alone playing to their hitters. She never gives up. She is a true warrior. She supports her teammates, encouraging them, and when things are not going our way, she fights to get them back in our favor. She is not afraid to take things into her own hands, literally. She is the kind of setter that all coaches love to have, and I've enjoyed every minute of time I've spent with her. She ended her career with a record-setting 1,018 assists, beating a record set nearly 15 years ago. She ended her serving career with 480 service points and 120 aces. Well, this year and the one before, she received first-team honors in the Wyoming Valley Conference. She is also a member of the Scranton Times-Tribune All-Regional Team. She has been instrumental in this team's success for her entirety here at DV, and has truly left her mark. Thank you, Kelly, for your hard work and dedication to this team. I cannot wait to see you in the things you accomplish. So, in closing, Sam, Mrs. Crawford, and I would like to thank all the players and families who have been working with us through this tough year. We'd also like to thank Dr. Bell, Dr. Blum, Dr. Costantino, and Mr. Ross, and all the administration for their support. We would especially like to acknowledge Bridget Crawford, who is retiring after being a coach with the girls volleyball program for the last 15 years. This included multiple league championships and countless district championships. She is the reason our banner in the high school gym is so full. Good luck to all TV seniors on your journey to this next step in life. And to our three, we're so excited for you, but we wish you what you've done. Now, begin with baseball.
I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Christian Levy, Aiden Oliver, and Brendan Penn for their contributions to the Warrior baseball program. Our first Warrior Award goes to junior pitcher Christian Galini. He pitched in 9 games this year and led the team with a 1.88 ERA, which is fourth in the Lacrosse League, behind two guys, one who was going to Florida Atlantic University and one who was going to Bloomsburg to pitch next year. So he was exceptional for us. He was responsible for 2 wins, 18 strikeouts, and a little over 20 innings pitched. He also went 263 as a designated hitter. And he was a Lackawanna League Division II All-Star honorable mention, Christian Levine. Next Warrior Award goes to Aiden Oliver. Aiden batted 298 as an outfielder and a pitcher. He had 23 RBIs, which was good for second in the Lackawanna League. He was responsible for over 30% of our offense this year. 9 times he drove in at least 1 run with 2 outs, and 10 times drove in at least 2 runs in a game. He also had 3 home runs and scored 10 times for us. He was a Lackawanna League All-Star as an outfielder, and will be continuing his academic and athletic career at Lackawanna College. Aiden Oliver. And Brendan Penn is the 2021 Warrior Baseball batting champion. After missing the first half of the season due to injury, Brendan batted .444 over the last 10 games. After May 1st, Brendan led the team in average, hits, runs, and stolen bases. Brendan is also a Lackawanna League Division II honorable mention and will be continuing his baseball career at Penn State University, Harrisburg. Brendan Penn. And next up will be Jeff Wachowski. Boys across.
I have Finnegan, Nate, and Xander here. Come on down. We have 2 guys not here today. Joe Shallow was our defensive player of the year. I also like to acknowledge Nick Galani, who had was primed for an outstanding season this year. Season got cut short to a quarter and a half, but him and Shallow will be battling next year as rivals with Nick at Kings and Shallow at Wolf, so I'm excited to see how those matchups go. Our offensive player of the year is Andrew Kelly, sophomore, is not here, so we just want to recognize him as well. Boys lacrosse, like all of our other programs, had a season filled with adversity. Finished with a record of 9-3, won our district for, I believe, the 7th time, which was the 3rd for our seniors. In addition to COVID postponements, close contact warranties, and many significant injuries, we really had a young team, especially offensively, and these 2 gentlemen did the most of the work to get those up to speed for what our standard is at Delaware Valley. So our offensive player of the year is Nate Melnick. Nate committed himself to getting faster and stronger this past year, in addition to motivating others to put in his hard work. He was our leading scorer with 46 goals and 12 assists. We went into the season thinking that Nate would be a midfielder for us, but he settled in that attack and played the entire season there and thrived. He earned 2nd team All-League, lost out to a senior at Scranton Prep who scored 100 goals in his career. And the funny thing is, none of those 100 came against Delaware Valley. Nate is an offensive weapon, and he's going to be leading our offensive unit next year for his senior year. So Nate Melnick, offensive player of the year. Our team MVP is Finnegan McCormick. Finnegan was a first-team All-League player as a sophomore for face-offs. This past year, he was first-team All-League as well as Scranton Times All-Regional. We spent most of the season again with underclassmen, so it felt like me and Finn were the old guys because he was the lone senior for most of the season. He did a great job calling our offensive steps, being a coach on the field, getting young players in position, and helping them prepare for what it means to play at the varsity level. Finished with 27 goals and 16 assists, but Finn makes his money winning faceoffs. Dominated this year, winning 81.5% of his face-offs and mentored our younger face-off men, which was his biggest contribution, passing it on to the next generation. And they were some tough learners, so he definitely did his work there. Finn will be attending Brevard College in North Carolina, and I'm confident he's going to be the best face-off man of that program ever had. So team MVP, Finnegan McCormick. Coach Sal from girls lacrosse is next.
Tonight, the girls lacrosse team would like to recognize the following senior student athletes: Isabella Fazillo, Madison Dunn, and Aaron Harvey. Please come on in. Just love every year they're wearing the helmet. So our first Warrior Award is going to senior Isabella Fazillo. The Warrior Award in lacrosse is given to our student athletes that show outstanding effort, dedication to the sport and to their team, leadership in many different roles, and possess that hard-working attitude with flexibility and determination, which was so necessary this year with all the ups and downs of our spring season. Isabella Fazillo is our first Warrior Award winner. She's hardworking, she's competitive as they come, but she does it with such a positive attitude with an infectious smile that she makes it look easy. She's a 4-year letter winner, she's kind to her teammates, and she does whatever it takes on and off the field to make her team succeed. She shows classy sportsmanship, she has strong character, both of which were further revealed this season when her senior year was cut short. She stepped up as a sideline leader, she was a coach to her peers, and she continued to display the grace, dignity, and positive force, just like she did on the field. She motivated her teammates tremendously in the second half of the season, which I think was paramount to us winning the district championship. We wish her luck at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. She plans to study business and hopes to continue her lacrosse career. We will miss her tremendously. Our first Warrior Award, Isabella Fazillo. Our second Warrior Award is Senior Madison Dunn. Maddie was key to providing leadership to our extremely young team, helping guide them through the perils of our season. She was very strong in organizing everyone in the off-season, and she often organized rides and things to all of our off-season workouts, morning skill sessions, and then once the season started, served as a quarterback for our offensive end for a very, very young team. She often sacrificed her personal statistics to distribute the ball to her teammates and to settle our offense when things were going well crazy. She answered these challenges, everything that was thrown her way, and we're very proud of her and her accomplishments. Maddie's a 4-year letter winner and a person with strong character who will continue out to Indiana University of Pennsylvania to study nursing, and she hopes to walk on to the lacrosse team. We wish her luck and much success, and we will miss her. Our second Warrior Award winner, Madison Dunn. Our final Warrior Award is for senior Aaron Hardy. Aaron's that kind of kid that you want on your team. You want younger players to look up to her because she is a constant competitor and she's such a classy sportsman. She rallied her teammates tremendously on defense, so much so that they developed a huddle working habit, which is quite interesting. She's willing to get into the mix on the field and do whatever it takes to get the ball back. And this year, she stepped up for us big time due to injury and other situations. She's traditionally a defender, and we moved her to midfield. which in the sport of lacrosse means a lot of running. She rose to that challenge. She set an example for all of her teammates with that flexibility and her tremendous effort. She was often key in us getting possession of the ball. She was strong on defense and always on the attack on offense. We recognize her effort and passion, and we know she continued both her selfless attitude and that fighting spirit and the special spark that we will miss next year as she moves on to study nursing at the University of Springfield. Our final Warrior Award winner is Erin Hardy. Our next presenter is Chelsea Speed for softball. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask Abby Kemp, Haley Jordan, and Emily Kemp to come on in. Ready? Abby was a transfer and a new player this year, and from day one, she stepped into some major positions. She was one of our starting pitchers, first baseman, and also our number 3 hitter. Throughout the season, we became very reliant on Abby's bat. Whether it be a situation where we needed her to come through big to help put us on the board, or a situation where there was 2 outs and we just needed her to keep the inning going for us. No matter the situation, she never caved under the pressure. She batted a .444 in the division and a .355 overall for the season. She was a consistent leader in the division and for our team. Abby had 4 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 8 RBIs. She is a smart power hitter, and her pitch selection and decisions at the plate allow her to continue to be successful. Abby is a great addition to our team, and her talents overall had a great impact on our season. Offensively, Abby shined and helped us tremendously this season. The award for Best Offensive Player goes to Abby Kemp. Next up is Haley Jordan. Haley is a 4-year varsity player who, on day 1, showed her heart and dedication for the game and her team. Her freshman year, Haley was our go-to pinch runner and was willing to earn any chance she could to get on that varsity field. As Haley continued to practice more at the varsity level, it was decided that Haley would be best in the outfield instead of at her usual position, which was second base. Haley, although a little upset at first, never once complained or had any comments about the change in position. Haley is a player that is willing to do whatever she needs to for her team. And eventually, Haley even felt like outfield was where she truly belonged. This season, Haley was one of our captains and center fielder. There was never a time Haley's efforts were ever in question. She always gives 110% to everything she does, and her persistence and leadership was valued greatly as we navigated through this tough season. Thank you for your heart, dedication, and passion towards the game and your team. The Warrior Award goes to Haley Jordan. And lastly is Emily Henn. Emily is a sophomore who obviously last season, freshman year, was taken from her. However, we would never know it. She is our starting catcher with an incredible understanding for the game. Her knowledge and talent allowed her to execute situations, and Emily got us out of a lot of big innings, throwing 4 girls out at second and picking off 6 at either first or third. She would have had more opportunities, but as we progressed through the season, coaches and players learned very quickly not to run or take big leads off Emily. Offensively, Emily succeeded just as much as she did defensively. Emily batted a .472 with 7 doubles, 3 triples, and blasted 8 home runs. She was our leadoff batter, and we relied greatly on her bat, ability to run the bases, and her speed. When Emily got on base, you knew she was going to capitalize on opportunities and would always make something happen for her team. She is a leader through her actions, and she played such a crucial role both defensively and offensively this year. The MVP award goes to Emily Henn. Coach Q for track.
Delaware Valley Track and Field, I would like to recognize Cole Andrews, John Russo, Adam Canterman, as we come down here, Mackenzie Olson, Marissa Dan Halter, Brooke Acadino, and Toledo Booker. First awards that we are going to present are our Warrior Awards. We're going to start with members of the boys team. Our Warrior Awards go to two seniors who were true Warriors on the track this year. These two young men were dedicated athletes and outstanding teammates. Colianca Lewis was our top hurdler, and John Russo was our top mid-distance runner. Both demonstrated the characteristics of a warrior as they pushed themselves and their teammates to improve every day. They were reliable, dedicated competitors who worked hard for all that they had achieved. Cole and John's effort and dedication has been admired and appreciated, and they will be missed by our track program. Cole will be attending Lock Haven. John will be continuing his academic and athletic careers at Marywood. Our Warriors are Cole and Lewis and John. The Warriors for the girls team. We would like to honor two young ladies whose actions and effort define the term warrior. These two athletes are two of the most focused and competitive kids that I have been around in my 19 years at Delaware Valley. They are determined and driven to succeed on and off the track. Furthermore, they are versatile, coachable athletes and outstanding teammates. In simple terms, they are everything a coach would want in an athlete. Sally Denwalter is third place district middle winner in a 1,600-meter run and a leader of our distance crew. Mackenzie Olson made some of the best single-season improvements I've ever seen in my years coaching as she finished in the top 8 in the 400-meter dash. We're excited to have Sally and Mackenzie back to lead us next year. Our outstanding track and field athletes. For our boys, our outstanding athlete is Adam Canterman. Adam's been the leader of our distance crew for the last few seasons and has enjoyed a successful high school career. Adam's a two-time district medal winner this year as part of the 4x800-meter relay and 3,200-meter run. Just as all the athletes being honored, he provided a great example for the athletes in our program. An outstanding student athlete, Adam has been a dedicated member of our program and lives as a great ambassador for Delaware Valley Track and Field. Adam will continue his academic and athletic career at Atlantic University this fall. Our outstanding track athlete is Adam Canterman. We have two outstanding performers for the girls team. First, we want to recognize Brooke Acadino. Brooke is our top performer in the jumps and leads as one of the best jumpers in the history of the lacrosse league and the absolute best in Delaware Valley school history. She leads with 3 school records in the high jump, long jump, and triple jump. She leads with multiple district medals throughout her career, including another medal in the long jump this season. Brooke experienced the ups and downs that come with being an athlete, and her experiences this year have prepared her for the next chapter in her journey. Brooke was selected as Lackawanna League All-Star by league coaches and an all-region performer by the Scranton Times. Brooke will continue her academic and track and field career at Division I Lehigh University this fall. Our first outstanding track athlete, Brooke Acadino. Finally, the last athlete we want to recognize is Talia Booker. Talia will lead Delaware Valley as the best sprinter in school history, the best 400-meter runner in the history of the Lackawanna League in District 2. Talia committed herself to her goal of becoming a Division I athlete by combining her natural talents with a work ethic, determination, level of motivation rarely seen. She worked tirelessly and often alone this fall and winter to put herself in a position of realizing her goal. Through the winter and spring, it was clear she was one of the top track athletes in the Lackawanna League District 2 and the state of Pennsylvania. Talia will graduate with 3 school records in the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400-meter dash, and set a new PLA District 2 record in 400-meter dash this year. Talia was also selected as the Lackawanna League Outstanding Track Performer of the Year by league coaches and was the All-Regional Track and Field Performer of the Year by the Scranton Times. Talia will continue her academic and athletic career at Division I Purdue University this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Talia Booker. have boys volleyball, Coach Tyler Goldberg.
I have Aiden Blake and Kaden Bell, please come up. The 2021 boys volleyball season was a very long-awaited return to the court. These boys went 22 months not able to wear a Delaware Valley volleyball uniform. We ended our 2019 season winning our conference and district championship. We had 10 days of practice for our 2020 season, and finally on March 26th of this year, they got that chance to put that uniform back on. We ended our season with a 13-2 record and a district championship. This wouldn't have been possible without our players coming to practices almost every Saturday and Sunday in March and April because of exceeding thresholds and shutdowns. Aiden led our team in kills, service points, and tied the single season record for aces. Aiden's service was stopped all the times and put us in the best defensive position through his tough serve. Aiden single-handedly earned our team 185 points this year. He was named co-MVP by the Wyoming Valley Conference coaches. Aiden was also selected to the Times Tribune All-Region Volleyball team. Aiden is this year's MVP. Caden is the definition of a warrior. As Brendan Koscheck, Rick Walls are there to see how bad he wants something. Caden is one of the hardest working young men I know. He's a kid that forces you to have him out on the court. His serve and defense kept us in games or picked us up in games when we needed it the most. He has played every point as if he was never going to have a chance to play again. He is a team player who is willing to do anything he could to make our team better. His passion, character, and work ethic are incredible. Caden Bell, Warrior.
At this time, to present the Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete Award is Staff Sergeant Virgil Calley.
All right, Delaware Valley High School, thank you for having me tonight. There is a saying that we say in the Marine Corps, and Ken and Bill can attest to this, and I say this every single time I see him, and I tell this to every single individual who grabbed himself on the Marine Corps. But everything is earned and never given. You guys are here tonight because of that. I want you guys to just kind of do me a favor, look to the individual to your left and your right, left in front of you, and say congratulations. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. So, you guys don't know, I'm Staff Sergeant Calley. We're a recruiter here for your local high school. I'm here to present the work of two individuals. To be honest with you, after hearing everybody tonight, I would love to take each and every one of you guys on board. You guys are well earned and deserve this award tonight, right? So, but I already had two. They were selected by our high school to give distinguished athlete awards to. So that being said, each year the Marine Corps recognizes high school athletes who display courage, voice, self-confidence, and leadership both on and off the field of play. On behalf of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, I am pleased to present the 2021 Distinguished Athlete Award to Jason Henderson and Talia Booker.
Talia had to use her sprinting skills to get back into the time for that award. It is my honor, as I do each year, to present a male and female District 2 Scholar Athlete Award as chosen by the PIAA District 2 Committee. And they did an excellent job of recommending 2 outstanding scholar athletes. The first is our male award winner. He is a varsity letter winner in soccer, basketball, and baseball. He will continue his academic and athletic career at Anna Maria College. He's going to major in sports management with a minor in business. Our District 2 male scholar athlete is Mark Cavallero. Our next athlete was mentioned a few times tonight. She is a varsity award winner in volleyball, basketball, and track. She also earned all-state honors in volleyball. She will continue her academic and athletic career at Lehigh University to major in finance. Our District 2 PIAA female scholar athlete is Brooke Acavino. And this is my 6th year being back in high school as an athletic director. And I've only been able to give this award 2 times. And both times, through circumstances out of the athlete's control, they may have lost the season. So Delaware Valley has a leadership award, and basically it honors a senior who has lettered in 3 sports for 4 years. So a total, freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior year, they did not receive a JV certificate or a freshman certificate. A varsity letter, an impact player on the courts, on the track. And I just want to read this very quickly. The Delaware Valley Athletic Leadership Award is presented to Brooke Acavino for excelling in the athletic arena through your individual accomplishments, contributions to your teams, and thereby Delaware Valley High School, while demonstrating sportsmanship, hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Delaware Valley High School honors you for demonstrating your love of athletics and team involvement throughout your entire high school career. 2017 through 2021 Delaware Valley Athletic Leadership Award presented to Brooke Acavino. And now for our closing remarks, our Director of Secondary Education, Dr. Brian Blum.
I'll be honest, I fully expect an applause since I'm doing the closing tonight. You guys have been there for 2 hours. Yes, everyone, it's okay if you're excited. I want to thank a few people. First of all, this one I think is obvious. All your coaches tonight, you can hear the emotion in their voices as they talked about you, as they honored you, and as they told you they'd never forget you. So the first thank you that we want to give tonight is to our coaches. Our next thank you is someone who is here all the time, weekends, snow days, all summer long, all winter long, putting together schedules and everything else to make sure that you guys have transportation, you have food money, you have everything else, and that is our athletic director, Mr. Ross. And for the person who actually does all the real work behind what Mr. Ross does, who deserves a bigger applause, Ms. Susie Briscoe. And last but not least, to Dr. Costantino, as well as the rest of the high school administration, for everything they do on a daily basis. Tonight, we heard a lot of negatives about COVID. Everybody knows it was a unique year. We don't have to revisit that. But there's 2 positives I just wanted to mention very quickly. Number 1, we proved something that we knew was always true. That number 1, you students are more flexible, you have better perseverance, and you're more adaptable than adults are. Number 2, that athletes are also grittier and able to be more flexible than most other people. And you all as student athletes best illustrate what this entire country has had to go through for the last 18 months. So that's something that we all knew deep down, but I think you all as Warriors illustrated that beautifully this past year. Number two is that exposure is never going to be the same again for high school athletes. That because of what we've gone through this past year, you will be more seen, more recognized, and you will be observed and judged more than ever before. So whether it's someone's grandparents that's watching you, an aunt or an uncle in Florida, or a 5 or 6 year old brother and sister, they're now watching and paying attention to everything you guys do. And these are people that would maybe never go to a volleyball match or see a track meet. They're able to follow you in real time and watch you live. And that's something that you should both be appreciative of as well as be respectful of. That how you carry yourselves, tonight included, is now seen by more people than ever before. And again, you never know who's watching you. So that's something to just keep in the back of your mind. It's certainly a positive, but it's something to never forget. This changed everything when it comes to exposure for high school athletes. I'm proud to say that you represent the best of what we have to offer. So congratulations on a wonderful year. Congratulations on all your awards. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you very much.